is opening day from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, the Big 3 is back. 2 games down in our opening 6-pack. And coming up, the first of 4 on Triller between the Killer Threes and Trilogy. Earlier today, Power. Winners 3 years ago over the enemies. Katina Mobley scored 26. And the defending champion Triplets getting another game winner from ISO Joe in taking down Bivouac. And welcome, I'm Ed Cohen. So great to be joined by the little general of the Big 3, Avery Johnson. Yes, we're back here for the summer.
Yeah, really excited. The Big 3, that's who we are. But Fireball 3, that's what we play. And I wish I can get in to bring the fire one-on-one game. I want to come out of retirement, Ed.
This guy is ready. It's safe to say that if we go back 2 summers ago, the Killer Threes were ready. An upstart year and making it all the way to the championship game. And the man leading the way again, Avery, Charles Oakley, the former NBA All-Star.
Yeah, Oak, the enforcer. He basically helped the Bulls get off the ground in terms of his defensive play.
Well, this is the guy who led the Killer Threes as a player to the title game 2 years ago, but now the head coach of Trilogy, Steven Jackson.
It'll be interesting to see the transition from player to coach. I've had to do that in my past. Now the players must respect you as a coach and not just a player.
Many coaches raved about Steven Jackson as a player. This was another guy who was key for the Killer Threes. Avery, Franklin Session, Frank Nitty, a highlight reel kind of player, but a key this season for the Killer Threes.
Yeah, only player to have more assists than Joe Johnson. It's not about the size and the dog, but the heart in him. And this guy has a lot of heart.
And speaking of heart, Jarrett Jack, a veteran of 13 NBA seasons, year 1, the rookie and captain for Trilogy.
Yeah, during his career, he's always been one of the better two-way players.
Let's take a look at the lineups for this one here today. 3rd game of 6 in Vegas. Jarrett Jack. They wanted James White, co-captain, out for Trilogy due to personal reasons. And the Killer Threes with Session, Dante Green, Josh Powell, the captains and co-captains. Let's revisit the key rules. In the Big 3, first team to 50 wins. You must win by 2. There's no game clock. Each team with 14 seconds to shoot. And, of course, the 4-point shot, unique to the Big 3. Well, submit your free fantasy lineups for the next game. Go to big3superdraft.com to play today. Orleans Arena here just west of the Strip in Las Vegas. Avery, season 4 of the Big 3, and we're 2 games in. Winners earlier, Power and the Triplets.
Couldn't have picked a better place to start the season here in Vegas. I heard what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, Ed.
We'll keep last night quiet, right? Away we go. Trilogy there in white. Killer Threes in black to start. Jarrett Jack to the rim tonight by Frank Nitty. Fires the 3. And the rebound gathered by Quintel Woods.
Yeah, Nitty makes his outside shot. He's hard to handle. We know he's an excellent driver to the basket.
Every player's on the floor for Trilogy. Woods, along with Jarrett Jack and Amir Johnson. And for the Killer Threes, Frank Nitty, Josh Powell, Dante Green. And right away, Jarrett Jack is going to the line.
And that's just that experience from Jarrett Jack. He knows Nitty is excited to start the game. He used his energy against him on that play.
Jarrett Jack is 37 and actually played in the G League bubble this year with G League Ignite. Really speaks to his role, not just as a player, but as a mentor.
One thing I love about guys that's playing here, in the Big 3, they love to play basketball.
Fadeaway jumper, Green off the mark. Rebound, Quintel Woods.
And when you love to play basketball, you'll get exposed in the Big 3 if you are the weak link.
Well, this guy right here, you figure Quintel Woods will play a key role for Trilogy. They were slated to have Meta Sandiford Artest, but he will not play here in 2021 in the Big 3. Woods over Green, nails it, and it's 4-0 Trilogy with the early lead.
And seeing the Big 3, we talk about all the analytics of the game of basketball and how it's all about three-pointers or drives to the basket. But in the Big 3 especially, the mid-range game is effective.
Now, this guy can score in a number of different ways. Frank Nitty never played in the NBA, but was Damian Lillard's teammate in college. Jack inside-out dribble. Can't get the roll. Cleanup is good. Amir Johnson.
It's very important when guards drive. If there's a switching situation, that bigs like Amir in that situation can punish the smaller defenders on the offensive glass.
Powell jockeys and scores. Johnson thought he traveled. 3 games after this one. Next up here from Vegas, three-headed monsters and Tri-State as Johnson with the kiss and a chance at 3.
And see, that was a mistake on Green's part because he knows Johnson, he's a left shoulder jump hook guy. So, scouting reports are extremely valuable here in the Big 3. In that situation, you want Johnson to go the other way, not over his left shoulder.
6'9", Amir Johnson, 14 years in the NBA. Remember, we get to have the first break, first to 12 points. That was a pass.
Yeah, still had to bring it out because he hit the rim.
Woods over Green, and that won't go. Session. Jack fighting to stay with him. Dante Green out of Syracuse. Bumped, and before the shot, was fouled on the floor.
And that's a decision you have to make defensively. On that drive, do you want to come over and help and support, or do you want to allow the defender to play one-on-one, which if, you get in a bad situation or you're off balance, then you foul. So you have to make that decision. As the game goes on, you'll see how the offenses are able to manipulate the defenses into certain strategies.
Avery, the danger of having a great guard who can beat you one-on-one off the dribble, if you can get to the rim, it's a different league.
Yeah, it's a different league because then it forces you into situations where you're going to play 3-on-2, 2 against 1 on the backside.
Oh, the hell. Green, the block and the finish. Dante Green coming from the blind side with the swat.
That's when you have like sizes inside, you're able to defend the paint a lot better.
9-6, Trilogy with the early lead. Jack too much. Woods, can he save? He does, but right to Frank Nitty. Dante Green got it, and the foul against Amir Johnson.
And Dante Green got away with one there, and Powell should have spaced the floor a lot better. That was a 3-on-2. Powell stepped inside, which brought the support defender in there. He should have spaced the floor a little bit better, but I think Green got away with one.
Steven Jackson making a change. In comes Isaiah Briscoe in place of Quintel Woods. Avery, worth noting that Trilogy here in this game down to 4 available players. No replacement for James White here in the opening weekend.
And that's when conditioning comes in. Guys that come in, Ice Cube's talked about it all the time. Don't come to the Big 3 out of shape. Bring your game, bring your conditioning and your stamina, because you will get exposed. You can't hide. We don't have 5 players on the court.
Top professional 3-on-3 league in the world. Briscoe denied. Killer threes, great rim protection, open look. Follow slam, no, tapped out. And C.J. Watson, another chance for killer threes. Green on an island against Amir Johnson. Dante Green. Watson, another chance. This time with the finish.
CJ is a veteran of the Big 3. That's another easy way to get baskets. Long threes and guards running in to get offensive rebounds. You're not looking to try to hit back on transition defense. Go to the glass. Smart play by CJ.
Dante Green to the basket with the finish and the foul. And the killer threes looking like they did at the end of last year with the advantage.
No basket. I think they called that one on the floor.
Dante Green a little perplexed.
Yeah, that's one of those situations, if I'm in Oakley's sitting in Oakley's chair, which I've been in that seat. I'm disappointed. If I'm in Steven Jackson's seat, I'm happy.
He'll take it. Green back to work, and Dante Green making a living in the paint here in the early going. Killer threes with the early edge. 13-9 on day one of this brand new season. Big three at Staples Center, Joe Johnson, the MVP, and delivering with 28 points. But Steven Jackson kept the killer threes in the game, scored 19. But ISO Joe for the ship. And the triplets and Lisa Leslie, winners in 2019. Well, Steven Jackson now leading the way with Trilogy, and joined by the third member of our team. Let's send it down to John Spider Sally.
Steven, that you were playing 2 years ago. Now you're coaching. Yes, sir. Another opportunity to continue to evolve. Thank you for the opportunity, and I just want to give my passion to the game and try to help these players. You had an unbelievable year. I told you I'm so proud of you. In front of the camera and all over the world. Are you going to win the championship here, or are you just bringing some mojo that no one knows about? Yeah, that's the goal, to win the championship. I got a whole bunch of professionals on my team, guys that know how to play the game, so I don't have to do too much coaching, just keep them motivated. I hear you're going to be player coach. Is that true?
I tried that, but my body's saying no, so we'll see what happens.
All right, my body's hurting watching them. All right, back to you guys.
All right, John, thanks. Avery, he looked the part last year as a player. Maybe he dons the cape and we see him on the floor at some point.
Maybe. Steven Jackson looks good. Captain Jack. 14-year NBA career, NBA champion. One of the top players in the Big 3. Led the killer threes in 2019 in scoring. He's the type of guy, though, Ed. You want him on your team.
No doubt.
Now, he may pick up a technical at the wrong time, but he's always intense. So I want to see how that's going to transfer to his coaching ability.
It was the right dynamic. Charles Oakley and Steven Jackson, as Green gets to the rim and extends the killer threes run. That's 11 straight points now for the killer threes. Jack with a step on Watson, out of a double, open look. Briscoe, too much. Mo Charlo out of Nevada. Late replacement for Eddie Curry. Air ball, and the jumper's good for Briscoe.
Now, for Briscoe, that's basically around his range. I coached against him, Briscoe, when he was at Kentucky. He's a McDonald's All-American in 2015. But he was always more of a slasher, not a three-point shooter. Now, if he can get better from behind the three-point line, he'll be even more dangerous on his drives.
Oh, he got to the rim that time. Green open, and Jack with the carom. Ed Cohen, Avery Johnson, our entire Big 3 crew here on Triller, as Jack drills it for Trilogy.
That's basically like a layup for Jarrett Jack. That's his patented move, between the legs, crossover, pull-up shot. He can make that he can make that with his eyes closed in his sleep.
Time to hydrate, time to take another look.
Yeah, so here it is. It's got the defender going back on his heels. You got to push up on Jack in that situation and force him to drive.
Jarrett Jack went to the famed DeMatha Catholic in Maryland, and eventually making the national championship game at Georgia Tech under Paul Hewitt, and 13 years in the NBA. Avery, Jarrett Jack, the kind of guy, you talk to people around the NBA, and they felt he could be a coach one day. He's still got game, but he just has that type of attitude, infectious, really good teammate across the board.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the Big 3. Look at the type of talent that we're attracting to the Big 3. Jarrett Jack, has had an unbelievable career. You alluded to it. This guy can play on any level. That's what I'm just fired up about. All of the new stars that we've attracted to the Big 3.
Early 2-point lead for the killer threes. And double dribble. A turnover by C.J. Watson on the Woods closeout.
And another adjustment, key adjustment, I think the Big Three's made is lowering the age to 22.
Yes. Dynamic players, some NBA legends, but guys who can ball like Briscoe as he's fouled on his way to the cup. And this on C.J. Watson of the Killer Threes.
A lot of times in that situation, you want to force him middle because all of your help was middle. There's no real help on the baseline unless you step out of bounds.
That's reset at Jack, Briscoe, and Woods for Trilogy. As Briscoe left his feet and lost the ball. Killer Threes with Session, Watson, and Green right now for Charles Oakley's team.
Got a little bit confused there. They thought they needed to take the ball out back.
Watson goes baseline, can't finish it, never hit the rim. Briscoe, easy path, and had to be so mindful when a shot point blank does not get the iron.
And that's a great way to catch the defense off guard. If the ball doesn't hit the rim, it's a clear ball. You can go right back up with it.
Watson, you love that guard matchup going right at Briscoe.
Yeah, and that's why you got to really know the rules. Here, you know, CJ drives. It's an air ball. Briscoe took advantage of the situation and went right back up for an easy two.
Isaiah Briscoe, 39 games played in his NBA career, as Watson, one free throw for 2 points, knocks it down. Ice Cube speaking earlier today, keep the game moving, and that's the beauty of the rule where you take one free throw, even for 2 points. Look at the hustle. Session trying to keep it in.
And that's why I love, you know, the first team to score 50 points win, and that's why every point is important. It's not like at the end of the game you trying to, you know, bring the what they used to call scrubs. Can we say that on TV, Ed?
You can.
The lesser of the players in the game. We don't do that in the Big Three. He got to get to 50 points, baby.
Jack drawing the double. Briscoe had a good look. Every back and forth start to this one. Killer Threes by 2. Powell extra feed. Session, little fake, flyby, and finish.
And that was an excellent pass by Powell. He caught the ball high, kept it high, and passed it from high to low. Excellent pass.
Briscoe, a little switch and finish for the New Jersey native. Two-point game.
I believe what Oakley's telling, you know, the Killer Threes is when Briscoe's involved in the pick and roll, go under.
How about the passing here from Powell?
Yeah, nice pass from Powell. High-low pass. That shows unselfishness. If you're a selfish basketball player, you will be exposed. But Powell's unselfishness to decide that I'm going to go from good to great in terms of the shots. You read that book, Ed, Good to Great?
I'm going to give it a shot of the red eye.
Excellent book
tonight. Briscoe knocks down the 3, and Trilogy is back in front.
Nice, confident three-point shot from Briscoe.
Big screen, Powell, offensive here for the Killer Threes. Avery, though, to your point, you talked about the veterans for the Killer Threes. Because they made the championship game, they got to bring their entire roster back, and at least in the early weeks, that has to go for something, right?
Continuity means a lot. They're very familiar with each other. They're familiar with Oakley's coaching style. It really helps in special situations. Maybe if it's 5 seconds to go on the side out of bounds.
Dante Green having a really good first half. Avery, he's scored 9 already. Briscoe, that's a 2. Caught by Watson. Watson gets a look. And the rebound, Amir Johnson.
Now you can't go under on C.J. Watson. He bailed him out in that situation. but he normally makes that little, 15-footer if you go under on the pick and roll.
Jarrett Jack almost got the bounce. Johnson, no. Rebound, a big one for Dante Green.
Green's wide open.
Ooh, took his time. Watson even more time. Second chance.
See, I blame that on Green. He's got to take that three-point shot.
Well, it's not going down from beyond the arc for the Killer Threes. 1 point lead here in the first half and a timeout. Every Killer Threes, their first year, they won 2 games. 2018, Chauncey Billups, their captain, now the head coach, now at the Trailblazers, and they broke through at long last. 2019, a 5-3 record, and advancing to the championship game where they ran into a buzzsaw known as Joe Johnson.
Yeah, that's a buzzsaw with Joe. Joe is just incredible. Lisa Leslie does a magnificent job. That's another team, you're defending champions. You have great chemistry, synergy within the team. But I just like the Killer Threes. I like how they've run it back. Oakley is, he's tough on his team, but at the same time, it's got really good leadership with C.J. Watson. I like Powell, and Green is very versatile. They're not one of the bigger teams now. You look at, we look at all of the Big 3 rosters. They're kind of right there in the middle. But they got a lot of versatility in terms of guys who can drive and complement each other. Green can pick and pop. He can pick and roll.
It's kind of a team that embodies what Charles Oakley was all about as a player. Earning it all, playing hard. Maybe not the most heralded guys compared to some other rosters, but the nucleus is there.
And even on an underneath out-of-bounds situation like they just had, Frank Nitty defended that hard. They got a turnover.
Number 1st to 25 gets us to the break. Watson, mismatch against the bigger Woods. 3 to shoot. Step back, long 2. Look at Nitty. Look at Briscoe. Dave Posner waiting for the call, and it's off Isaiah Briscoe.
But that's the second time here in the first half that one of the smaller guards for the Killer Threes have gone to the offensive glass. C.J. Watson did it. Now Nitty went to the glass, so Briscoe and the rest of the guys on.
Oh, Briscoe drawing the hard foul, and Session helping him up after a nifty spin move.
Yeah, cute little move here. Sometimes in a situation like this, you can follow that nifty spin move with a pump fake. I think if Joe Johnson was in this situation, it's probably going to be a pump fake.
In this case, Isaiah Briscoe. 1 shot, 2 points. Got it. I like the pace of this first half. Back and forth between Trilogy, a former champion, and the Killer Threes.
Trilogy's in the penalty, so after that free throw, they retain the ball.
Briscoe, there's the little fake, and Watson bites, and now he'll shoot 1 free throw for 3 shots.
Yes, Nitty and Watson, they've been leaving their feet every time trying to, they're not going to block many shots. Guards don't block many 3-point shots. The best thing to do is close out under control, stay on the ground.
Knocks it down. That's a 3-point shot. And Trilogy has gotten us to the break. Isaiah Briscoe with 14 points in the first half for Trilogy.
Briscoe is putting on a show. Driving to the basket, playing really good defense, Trilogy. But if Briscoe's making that 3-point shot, go home, Killer Threes.
Halftime here from Las Vegas. Trilogy with the 4-point lead on the Killer Threes. Welcome back inside Orleans Arena. Ed Cohen with Avery Johnson. Well, Trilogy taking a big punch in that first half from the killer threes, but they had an answer, and it was Isaiah Briscoe who got them back in the game.
Yeah, the 2015 McDonald's All-American. Oh, man, he got off to a slow start, missed his first 2 baskets, but, man, he got going. You know, offensive rebounds, mid-range shot. We all know he's an excellent driver. You know, good defense, very good defender. But then, you know, he made this, he got fouled on the three-point shot, made his 1 shot for 3 points, and just was extraordinary in the first half.
Over to John Sally with Isaiah Briscoe.
Isaiah, you are putting it down. You're making them jump out of the gym. You're making them look bad.
Well, yeah, you know, I really don't got my legs under me right now, but, you know, I've been working hard. I'm just glad Stat gave me an opportunity to come out here, play, showcase my talent. That's what I'm here to do. Okay,
well, you're looking good, and you look like you're well-winded, too. I'm here. Y'all don't know, but he's breathing hard on me right now.
I'm breathing hard.
I feel it. His lungs back here are like big back balloons.
I do this all day.
I could. All right, good job.
Thank you.
All right, John, we believe it. Isaiah Briscoe, Avery, 14 points. He was 4 of 10, took 10 shots in the first half for Trilogy.
Yeah, he's just really aggressive. And he really capitalized also on the killer threes, lack of productivity, especially from behind the three-point line. The killer threes are 0 for 9. So, you know, combine that with Isaiah Briscoe's offensive prowess, Trilogy has the lead.
All right, beginning the second half for Trilogy, Briscoe is going to stay on, along with Jarrett Jack and Amir Johnson. Charles Oakley getting his core 3 ready to go. Session, Green, and Josh Powell for the killer threes. And a guy in Powell, you have a player, Avery, who was undrafted, later debuted for you in Dallas and won 2 titles with the Lakers.
Yeah, Powell's had an excellent career, still in phenomenal shape, and, you know, he's brought his talents to the Big 3, and, you know, he's just a flatline guy. You know, he gives you the same thing every game. He's going to rebound the ball. He's going to play hard. He's going to be coachable. He never makes excuses. You know, he's a guy when the coach goes to bed at night, he just doesn't have to worry about Josh Powell.
Dante Green hits it, but we're looking now at a 12-4 extended run for Trilogy. They lead by 4. Jack pulls up, knocks down the 3 in the face of Dante Green.
Yeah, look for Jarrett Jack to try to really impose himself and to join Briscoe in the scoring party.
Jarrett Jack, his Big 3 debut today. Green with the mismatch. Well defended there by Jack, but another offensive rebound for the killer threes.
Yeah, Green thought he got fouled on that last one.
Powell's denied. Amir Johnson with the swat leaves the killer threes with 6 to shoot.
Now, if the killer threes cannot exploit the matchup with Jarrett Jack guarding Green one-on-one in the post, it's going to be a long game for the killer threes.
That's a guy 6'11", Jarrett Jack, guarding him 6'3". Powell long 2. Look at the push and the rebound for Briscoe.
Yeah, this is the big boy league. You're not going to get a call in that situation.
Jack crossover and the finish, but wave it off. The foul on the floor, not getting the continuation. Steven Jackson pleading the case for Trilogy.
It looked like Quintel Woods almost had to pull Steven Jackson back because he was almost at the three-point line. I think doing that last play, he thought he was a player.
Got to stay back.
Yeah, he's got to stay back.
3 on 3.
Not 4 on 3.
Correct. Briscoe on an island, hits the 3 over Dante Green, and Isaiah Briscoe stealing the show in Vegas. He has 19 points.
Yeah, his confidence is just soaring after making that 3 in the first half.
Lead is 10. Green single-handedly is keeping the killer threes in this. Up Jack and Green. Words between the two who are battling inside moments ago.
But see, this is the worst thing you want from Trilogy is for Jack, when you're up by 8 points, to pick up a technical foul. because a lot of times referees, they'll see the retaliation. They won't see what happened the first time. And now look at Steven Jackson. This is great TV. Steven Jackson, as a coach, is trying to calm down Jarrett Jack.
Awesome.
Whereas when Steven Jackson's in that situation, we know he likes to get into it.
Jack stumbling, draws the foul on C.J. Watson. You know, Steven Jackson was the kind of guy, you think of the coaches he played for, they raved about what he was like in the locker room. Rick Carlisle, Don Nelson, go back to Indiana, Donnie Walsh as an executive. Tim Duncan says he was the ultimate teammate. Pretty cool to watch him as a coach.
And Greg Popovich, yes.
Big names. I think Pop would say some nice things about you.
It depends on what day it is.
10-point lead for
we had a few disagreements.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank Nitty, big offensive board. Green almost is going to the foul line for a 2-point shot.
And see, when you're down by 10 in a situation like this, you don't want to just, you know, launch threes trying to catch up too fast. You got to try to get in the paint and get some and finish some of those old-fashioned three-point shots or three-point plays.
Leaves 2 points at the front of the rim. Jack, the crossover. Up and under. Oh! Jarrett Jack schooling Frank Nitty in Vegas.
Wow, looked like Nitty was on Long Island. He was left on an island, and Jack put him in the blender. Put him in the blender, Jack. Just, you're not 37. You're playing like you're 27 back in Georgia Tech.
Trilogy, a 12-point lead on the killer threes here in Las Vegas. And the backcourt for Trilogy's been outstanding. Not just Isaiah Briscoe, but Captain Jarrett Jack.
Yeah, Captain Jarrett Jack, the veteran. You know, this guy just knows how to play. You know, he made the defense pay. You're not going to disrespect Jarrett Jack by allowing him to walk into a three-point shot. And now he puts him in the blender. A little bit of a mixtape there.
Over to Techwood Drive, couple of yellow jackets. John Sally, Jarrett Jack.
JJ, they don't understand it. It's all Georgia Tech. I know you're a great player, but it's all the Georgia Tech hustle and that little feistiness you had. You look like you're 27, not 37.
Appreciate it, John Sally. Yeah, man, you know how we born and bred down there at Georgia Tech. I'm just trying to come through my team and try to deliver a W.
All right, well, you're doing a good job, and don't get in any fights yet.
Nah, no way.
Yeah,
no way.
Let me get the gloves on you.
All right, John. Well, nice guy who's made a big difference here in the early going.
Yeah, and, you know, he's always been a crowd favorite because of, you know, his intensity, consistency on the floor. And this crowd tonight, man, this is so cool that we have fans in the stands again.
One of the great things about where we are now, pandemic forced the cancellation last year, the Big 3 season, but Avery, the league is back bigger than ever here at Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. They'll be back the next few weekends, and then 3 weeks in New Orleans. They wrap up in Las Vegas before the semifinals and championship. You want to talk about motivation to win the whole thing. How about 2 weekends in the Bahamas?
Man, and hey, I think the wives, the girlfriends, the cousins, they'll have a lot of folks trying to motivate these players to get to the Bahamas so they can get on that airplane. You know, at the Atlantis, they have one of the biggest slides. I went there when they first opened with my kids, and the slide is unbelievable. That's one reason to go to Atlantis. The huge slide to go down into the water is beautiful. Golf courses. I mean, just incredible restaurants.
How about this guy? At this rate, Trilogy's going to be going down that slide. Briscoe has 22. Watson can't answer. Batted around. Watson's got it. Great passing by the killer threes. Green against the smaller man. The spin and the finish, and not much Briscoe could do.
Nice solid footwork by Green in that situation. Took his time. He wasn't rushed. In that situation, Trilogy didn't want to double team because they don't want to allow the Killer Bees to get going from behind the three-point line.
Green sizing up Amir Johnson. Initiates, fires, and hits. Dante Green with 20.
See, that's a mistake by Amir Johnson. You want killer threes to make tough twos when you're trying to protect a 13-point lead at that time. Now you're only up by 10.
Briscoe, the fall away. Air ball, put back. And the killer threes chipping away, back with an 8.
And the same thing with Trilogy. Briscoe in that situation at least hit the rim, because you don't want to give the killer threes easy, layups. You don't want to turn the ball over, and on your shots, you want them to hit the rim so that the defense is forced to take the ball out. So here it is. Nitty, nice job. Ball doesn't hit the rim. Offensive, nice defensive box out by Green.
Jack, a lunge, and the big answer for Trilogy. Right at a spot where you got the sense the game was starting to inch back the killer threes way. Green. And Briscoe skying in for the board.
Yeah, Charles Oakley wasn't happy with that defense on the last possession.
On the spin, Briscoe with the switch. The left hand, got it.
Briscoe has been on fire since he missed his first 2 shots.
Jack the block. Taken by Watson. But Trilogy is 6 points from victory.
And look at Briscoe. He was breathing a little bit hard during his interview with our third man, John Sally. But, man, he looks like he's in really good shape.
Avery, this one deserves another look.
Yeah, Briscoe, his body just looks amazing. He's taking advantage against a smaller defender in C.J. Watson. The help came, extremely late, and he was able to complete that basket. Uh-oh. Got a little bit of a challenge here. Bring the fire.
First one of this game here on opening day. Dante Green against Isaiah Briscoe. Time for our first Taco Bell. Bring the fire here in game 3 of the day. Avery, it's a unique rule. They'll go one-on-one.
Inside the three-point line, you got to play inside the 3, and you got to play defense without fouling, because if you foul, then that's an automatic 2 points.
If Briscoe gets a stop, Trilogy's not charged with a team foul. If Green scores, it's 2 points, or as you mentioned, a foul leads to 2.
Yep.
What do you think? Green's the bigger guy.
But Briscoe's got to play defense without fouling. Yep, it's a foul.
And
what did he call?
That's the nuance of it.
Did he call travel?
Couldn't see if his foot may have touched the arc, which it can't do.
Turnover.
Briscoe sitting on 24 points.
Oh, he's feeling good now. He's feeling good
Hits
now.
it.
He's feeling good now.
My goodness.
That basket didn't even touch the rim.
Dante Green to the basket for the killer threes.
You know what I like also about this game? Look how quickly Trilogy is getting back to take the ball out.
For the win. Almost a 4-point shot. Point game for Trilogy. Green, extra
Nice
speed.
pass.
And Charlo from Frank Nitty.
Now, if you're Trilogy, that was a nice attempt, by Briscoe. He's feeling it for the 4-point play, but you don't want to just, shoot 4-pointers. You want to take quality shots. This lead can diminish quickly if killer threes get hot.
Avery, take us inside the mind of Steven Jackson, because guy who's rolling in Isaiah Briscoe lets fly in a 4-point shot, and after the bucket from Green, calls a timeout to settle things down, get his team back in the right mindset.
Yeah, I just want to get them back in focus. just trying to make sure that they understand that, hey, we want to take the best shot available. But, man, look at Briscoe working here. Who does he think he is, Joe Johnson?
One in a long line of recent Kentucky guys made the NBA, and now we're in the Big 3. Well, what a performance in his debut.
Yeah, but again, Steven Jackson, as the veteran, he's been in that situation before when you're really feeling it and you're just trying to put a team away. So he's just saying, hey, settle down. You saw him when they came to the bench. He was really animated.
New era for Trilogy in the Big 3.
Yeah, so I don't think Trilogy's going to attempt a 3 or 4 point shot on that possession. That was strict orders from Captain Jack. Take the ball to the basket.
Isaiah Briscoe, message received. And now a 2-point foul shot here for the New Jersey native. He has scored 26, and he airballed one of his first shots in the game. 28 now in his debut.
I'm just trying to figure out, if I was the little general and David Robinson was the admiral and Captain Jack was Captain Jack, what was Tim Duncan?
Big fundamental.
Yeah.
We'll start there. Now Hall of Famer.
Yes.
What a class. Late Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett. Briscoe the spin.
Nice pass.
Jack for the win. Off nylon. And a violation here on Trilogy. It's been a nice backcourt combo, though, between Jack and Briscoe.
And see, this is why I love the Big 3, because the fans know the first team to 50 win, and half the fans were off their seat, out of their seat on that last shot, because they know it's close to game.
Dante Green, Avery, it's been a big performance. But again, point game for Trilogy. Jack against Charlo, breaks him down. Jack the pull-up. Trilogy with a victory in Vegas.
Too easy, and Jarrett Jack said, I'll take it. Game point. He's probably made that shot in the park all over the United States. That's an easy shot for him. We said that early in the game.
Back to the bread and butter.
That's a layup for Jarrett Jack. You got to come over and help the defender.
A wink goodbye into the win column here in week 1 for Trilogy. Over the killer threes. They had the title game a year ago. Remember those two, Jack and Green, got into it earlier in this game. Everything's all right here after the Trilogy win.
Yeah, whenever you have extraordinary guard play, and you have two guys that can handle the ball, pass, dribble, and shoot, you'll put yourself in position to win.
Well, the star for Trilogy, Isaiah Briscoe. He is with John Sally.
Isaiah, I said you were winded. You was like, nah, you ready. Well, so you can be winded because I was just told to give you this. That's right. That's from Dana White of UFC. I don't know. It's his thing. I'm not into that kind of drinking stuff. I smoke my drink. But anyway, you had a great game. First day back.
I feel good, man. I came out here just to have fun. You know, I love playing a game of basketball no matter where it's at. So I'm just happy to be out here.
Good. Now you go ahead and enjoy that and break it with some.
I don't drink, but I'll say this. I'll say this for somebody.
Make it look good and say it's from Dana White of UFC.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Or you can give it back and I can sell it.
I'm gonna definitely keep this up. Appreciate you.
Okay, good try anyway. Good game.
All right, guys, and John Sally, it was indeed a great game for Briscoe. He had 28. Jarrett Jack adding 15. 43 points for the Trilogy backcourt. A 50-38 win over the Killer Threes. Stay tuned. Coming up, three-headed monsters in Tri-State after this from Vegas.